Hello. This is Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. The temperature in this area presently is around 64 degrees, going up to 88 today. And the air quality index is moderate. Pollen is moderate after a few days running back to back on high. Sunrise was at 6:41 a.m. and sunset will be at 8:46 p.m. I'm Theodore Parker, and this is a sideshow. If you're watching the sideshow on Facebook and Instagram, don't forget to like, comment, and share, and talk about it on WhatsApp. The sideshow on YouTube, like, comment, and share. Strike that. Subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. And the sideshow coffee cup. Black ceramic 11-ounce dishwasher safe with the sideshow logo on it. Good for most beverages, hot and cold. Buy from me for $17 plus shipping and handling. Pay me through Cash App. $ TR Parker 1. I hadn't really planned on giving you a whole lot of shows with the heat being up and various other things going on. I realize you have things to do, places to go, people to see, quote unquote. And headlines are available on TV, radio, and the internet. Headline news and local news. So I thought I would switch gears a little bit and talk about something from a different perspective. You know, we just officially this is August 2nd, Wednesday, officially came out of COVID-19 pandemic on May the 11th of this year. So it's really just been a couple of months, May, June, July, now we're into August. So people still might be experiencing a little jet lag and, adjustment features and things of that nature, and having to work and take care of your responsibilities, whatever they may be, family or otherwise, then you probably still haven't come completely out of that COVID mentality. And I still see people wearing masks, which is a two-way street. If it's not declared locally in your area to wear it, I haven't even checked the percentages since it's been officially closed as a pandemic. They might have personal issues, sore throat, or something else where being out in public, they feel better if they are wearing a mask. All that being said, in America and around the world, you have your big cities and your small cities. I think a small city in this country, bingo, might be around 10,000. And people feel that, I know everybody knows me. And if the so-called stranger comes around and say, well, you must be passing through. All the common quotes that are applied to those type of situations. Or you could be living in a big city like New York. So big you have to say it twice. New York, New York. And all the places in between. But giving circumstances their due, I was watching a movie was on, and one of the scenes was of the man and woman coming from the airport and came across the 14th Street Bridge in Washington, D.C. So it kind of put me on a nostalgic path about D.C. and other cities. wherever you live, whether you have been living where you are now for few years, or just recently moved and are still trying to get acclimated, I thought it would be worth the time to think about what you love about your city. Now, I know, it's a conglomerate of things, and that might bring up a whole bunch of other side comments and issues. But if love is too strong a word for you to use about your city, what do you like about your city? What makes you feel warm and fuzzy about it, whether it's the sunsets or something in particular, whatever it is that makes you like where you live. I know we all probably complain about rush hour and bumper to bumper and road detours and whatever else the city might not be doing the way we want it done, et cetera, but just take a pause for a minute and think about what you like about your city, the city that you presently live in. So since I've lived a number of places, I thought I would pick DC. And that movie reminded me of 14th Street Bridge, coming across there. And no, it wasn't the one with Will Smith in it about the spies and all of that. No, but those scenes from Connecticut Avenue are real. Connecticut Avenue is put together like that, going under the underpass and across the street and all those other little things that movie pictures for landscape purposes, panoramic purposes, use cities to create a feeling or an atmosphere to the person that is watching the movie. So I figured DC would be a good enough place, and it's the nation's capital. So you had the White House, Capitol Hill, and all the other things that go with our thoughts when we hear Washington, D.C. But actually, it's kind of shaped like a diamond, per se, where it is in perspective. And it's surrounded by Virginia and Maryland. And one side of D.C. accesses Baltimore, 30 miles up the road, and the other side accesses Chesapeake Bay and Virginia, respectively. Maryland and Virginia. So at the time that I was there, I was employed, government employee, and just moved around the city. Pay was every 2 weeks, and I acted accordingly, So I just thought about traveling around the city, moving in the city, around the city. So I thought I would start, like with Pennsylvania Avenue. You can take the White House as your location, as it says with GPS, and say, find me someplace to eat or find me someplace to sleep. So if you go south on Pennsylvania Avenue, you go from the White House down Pennsylvania Avenue up to Capitol Hill. You go past the Senate and past the House, and then you're up there on Pennsylvania Avenue. There's a little business district, the subway, and as in underground travel, not the restaurant, not the fast food place. Go out, and it's kind of scenic a little bit. And then you start getting out into the southeast area of DC, and you have other businesses and what I call strip malls, which is like a couple of blocks for shops and food, restaurants and places to access food and things of this nature, and you're in a residential neighborhood. But you come off of Capitol Hill, right there at Union Station, and starting at on the northeast side, starting maybe around 2nd or 3rd Street, you start getting into the residential areas of that part of it. And it's residential. So throw some names out there. People may not remember, and then again, it might, jog your memory. Kevin Hooks, a well-known black actor, lived right in that area, a couple blocks off of Capitol Hill for a while. And so anyway, you get up on the southeast end of Pennsylvania Avenue, and there you are. It's kind of open, residential, apartment buildings, homes, and the rest of it. You come right back to southeast, coming off of the Navy Yard, and come to Alabama Avenue, follow it on up past Anacostia and that portion of the Navy Yard up again, and just follow Alabama Avenue all the way out, and you come to Pennsylvania Avenue again. And that's residential southeast. Come back down Pennsylvania Avenue, headed toward downtown, and on your right-hand side, you have Maryland, and its shopping areas, malls, and all those things that go with it. Back down past the White House and up Pennsylvania Avenue again to Georgetown. Georgetown College, residential area, businesses, shops, and everything else that goes with it. And right there, some places where you can eat, shop, listen to live music, jazz, etc., etc. Keep on going, hit the bridge, come over into Virginia. Then you come back down to Alabama Avenue again. Don't forget about Anacostia Park, Potomac River. Now you got TV programs, I think Housewives of the Potomac. But you just cross over into Southwest, Watergate notwithstanding. You have Chesapeake Bay and Seafood Wharf. And most of the catch is fresh. That's where I kind of got introduced to red snapper and trout and all kinds of other seafood that I ordinarily would not have even explored or had an interest in. And just took advantage. Blue shell crabs, soft shell crabs, all of that. Anacostia Park. Nice place to hang out. Lay around on the grass, put your blanket down, bring yourself something to eat. You want a cold brew with a hot sandwich. Plenty of nice fish places up in that area as well. Whiting, catfish, however you want it. Coleslaw, hot slaw. Coleslaw, hot slaw. Coleslaw, hot sauce. Sandwich, nice sized piece of fish. All of that. So then you have Connecticut Avenue coming from downtown out toward the zoo. That's kind of like where I got introduced into my appreciation for the Wildlife Fund. Had a t-shirt for a long time with the panda on it. And even now, on my page, I have the Wildlife Fund. My particular choice was the tiger. And sometimes I will put up some stills of tigers moving through the snow or tiger family or something else. You'll see it from time to time. And that's reflective of that. And come back downtown again, IRS building, FBI building. Coming off the 14th Street Bridge, right there's the Bureau of Engraving and the Department of Agriculture. Over from that, although it's been a few years now, is the Holocaust Museum, Treasury Department. And if you're on that side, you can see the Washington Monument, et cetera, et cetera. But talking about three streets that run parallel, Pennsylvania Avenue, Independence Avenue, and Constitution Avenue. Now you can follow Constitution Avenue into another residential neighborhood of DC, Northeast. There's Northeast and there's Northeast, but that part of Northeast is right there, sitting off of Connecticut Avenue. Constitution, excuse me. So you get to not only get the flavor of downtown government buildings and businesses, along with the theaters and things of this nature, even well-known jewelry shops, if you think about it. And what used to be called, going back up Pennsylvania Avenue, off into what used to be called the Gold Coast, where the rich people live, or well-to-do live there. And 17th and K, right there at the hub. Right there at the hub. Always busy, always business. Four-way traffic stop. At the time, the bicycle messengers, motorcycle messengers, zipping up and down, as you can see in so many movies, whether it's Quicksilver or whatever. All that was real-time experience. Sun going down, coming up. I mentioned Haynes Point. Interesting place. They had a statue there that was seen to be buried in the sand or buried in the ground, and portions of it sticking out. Then you have Jefferson Memorial, all those other things around that little tidal bowl right there. And of course, the fabulous cherry blossoms coming out every year about April or so. I used to also have the habit, of thinking that anything within a 100-mile radius of DC, at the time thinking 70 miles per hour, an hour out, give or take a little bit more, not trying to break the law, get pulled over for speeding or nothing like that. But on the Virginia side, I can't exactly remember the name of the place, but probably was Auntie something. But it was a pancake joint. And the pancakes were big enough, like to fit and fill your whole plate. And then you had your various toppings and, whether you wanted, a particular flavor of syrup and a particular fruit topping or whatever, and whipped cream and all that other kind of stuff to go on it, or spray whip or ready whip or whatever. And I usually went with somebody, another friend of mine that I had known for years. Our children and stuff were born, raised up together and all that kind of stuff. We'd go there occasionally just to say we got out of the city. His first game there was introduced DC Dirty City to change to Chocolate City, one horse town being such as it is. All the other little acronyms and things that we used to do to describe it and the politics thereof. But that is just a little bit of flavor on it. And those plate-sized pancakes still stick with me mentally today. So, that's kind of like my take on DC. You probably have yours. I remember driving around with my sons in the car, and I was cutting through the city, and they were like, still in school, they were like, where are we? Where is this and where is that? And it's just that it's the way I learned. You come to a city, somebody's going to have to show you around or tell you how to get around or tell you where's such and where's the other until you kind of get your feet on the ground and get orientated to what it's all about and what your interests are and how you want to go about conducting your business. So I thought that would be a little change of pace. You're welcome to add any comments or just name the city that you're in below if you so choose. And if you want to say what you like about your city, then be my guest. That's it. Hashtag